There is a Tesla sitting in my shop right now with 26,000 miles on it that needs a $12,000 repair, and Tesla will not cover it. You spend $60, $70, $80,000 on one of these because you think you're buying the future. Fewer moving parts, right? But somebody needs to explain to me why I keep pulling apart Teslas under 40,000 miles with failures you would not expect on a 200,000 mile beater. Number 1. The 2020 and 2021 Tesla Model Y, specifically the rear suspension. A few months ago, a customer came in with a Model Y that had about 32,000 miles on it. He said it felt like something was loose in the back. Every bump felt sharper than it used to, and he was hearing a clunk over speed bumps that was not there 6 months earlier. I put it up on the lift. The upper control arm on the passenger side had a visible crack running through it. Not a scratch, a structural crack. On a 3-year-old crossover with barely any miles on it. I showed him a picture on my phone of what a healthy control arm is supposed to look like, and he went quiet, because the difference was obvious even to someone who has never worked on a car. But this was not some one-off situation. I pulled up the federal vehicle safety complaints for the 2020 and 2021 Model Y, and the pattern is right there in black and white. Owner after owner reported clunking, looseness, and straight-up separation of rear suspension components before 35,000 miles. One complaint described the control arm snapping during a highway lane change. You are doing 65 on the freeway, you move over one lane, and a suspension component lets go underneath you. That kind of failure can put you into a guardrail. The repair runs over $2,000 for parts and labor, and that is if nothing else got damaged when the part failed. And here is what really gets me fired up. Tesla marketed this vehicle as requiring almost zero maintenance. They convinced buyers that because there is no engine, the car would basically take care of itself. But the suspension on a Model Y carries a massive battery pack that weighs over 1,000 pounds. And these control arms were clearly not engineered to handle that load long term. I personally think this is one of the worst examples of Tesla cutting corners on the parts that actually keep people safe. You can skip an oil change on an electric car, but you cannot skip building a suspension that holds together. But at least with a suspension problem, you can hear it. You can feel something is off. The next Tesla on this list has a failure that sneaks up on you slowly, and by the time you realize what is happening, the repair bill is already in the thousands. Number 2, the 2018 to 2019 Tesla Model 3. If you were one of the early adopters who jumped on the Model 3 in the first couple years of production, you probably remember the excitement, the affordable Tesla, the one that was going to change everything. But a lot of those early Model 3 rear drive units had a ticking time bomb bolted to the rear axle, and the fuse was already burning the day they rolled off the line in Fremont. It usually starts as a faint whining noise from the back of the car. Owners describe it as a high-pitched hum that gets louder the faster you go. At first you convince yourself every electric motor sounds like that. You turn up the stereo in your Model 3 and ignore it. Then the whine turns into a grinding. Then one morning you get in, tap the accelerator, and the touchscreen throws a warning. Power gets limited or the car refuses to move entirely. That is the drive unit dying, and the only fix is a complete replacement. And what Tesla did about it is what really made me angry. Go read the Tesla Motors Club forums from 2018 and 2019 if you want to lose an afternoon. It is the same post over and over. An owner picks up a brand new Model 3, the drive unit starts whining around 25,000 to 30,000 miles. Tesla replaces it under warranty, and then the replacement starts whining before the original one even would have hit 50,000. The drive unit bearings in these early production runs were not built to last, And Tesla knew it. They quietly upgraded the part over time, but never told the people who already bought one that anything was wrong in the first place. Out of warranty, the replacement runs around $5,000 to $7,000 depending on the service center. For a car that was supposed to be the budget-friendly option, if you are shopping for a used Model 3 right now, check the build date. Anything manufactured before mid-2019 is a gamble I would not take. Now you would think after dealing with drive unit problems on an early model, Tesla would have learned something about quality control by the time they launched a brand new vehicle. You would think that, and you would be dead wrong, because the next one on this list makes the early Model 3 look reliable by comparison. Number 3. The 2024 and 2025 Tesla Cybertruck. I have been working on vehicles for a long time now. I have seen some bad launches, but I have never seen a brand new model have this many catastrophic problems this quickly. The Cybertruck is failing in ways that should embarrass any manufacturer, and Tesla is acting like everything is normal. Where do I even start? Drive units needing complete replacement within the first 10,000 miles on a truck that costs more than some people's houses. There was a full recall for the accelerator pedal cover literally getting stuck to the floor because the pad was not secured properly. You spend over $70,000 on a brand new truck, and the accelerator pedal can jam wide open because someone did not glue a pad down correctly. Then you have the orange screen of death, where the main vehicle computer crashes while you are driving and the entire instrument cluster goes blank. No speedometer, no turn signals on the screen, no backup camera, nothing. Just a dead orange display and a truck still moving at highway speed. Owners have also reported stainless steel body panels separating at the seams, the powered tonneau cover jamming, grinding, or breaking entirely, wiper motors failing within weeks of delivery. The Cybertruck is the worst vehicle Tesla has ever produced, and it is not particularly close. Every new vehicle has launch problems, I understand that, but the Cybertruck has racked up more recalls and technical service bulletins in its first 12 months than the Model 3 had in its first 3 years of production. If you are buying a used Cybertruck right now, you are buying someone else's nightmare. And I would put money down that the person selling it already knows exactly which expensive repair is right around the corner. Cybertruck owners are waiting weeks just to get an appointment because parts availability is a complete disaster. That alone should tell you everything about where this vehicle stands right now. So the Cybertruck is a mess, but at least it is a new vehicle with new problems. The next Tesla on this list has been breaking the same exact way for years across every single model year they have ever built it, and somehow Tesla has never fixed it. Number 4. The Tesla Model X from every single model year. I do not care if it is a 2016 or a 2024, the Falcon wing doors on this vehicle are going to cost you money. That is frustrating because those doors are one of the coolest things any car manufacturer has ever put on a production vehicle. They look incredible. But cool and reliable are two very different things, and Tesla somehow managed to nail one while completely failing at the other. I had a customer bring her 2022 Model X in because one of the rear Falcon wing doors would open about 6 inches and then just stop. It was frozen in place. She could not push it open, and she could not force it closed from the outside. Her child was buckled into his car seat in the back row in a grocery store parking lot, and she could not reach him. She had to climb in through the front passenger side, crawl between the seats, and unbuckle him from inside the vehicle. On a $100,000 SUV that is supposed to be the premium family hauler, it comes down to the actuator motors buried inside the door hinge assembly. These are small electric motors that handle the whole opening and closing process, and they burn out with disturbing regularity well before 40,000 miles. The design asks these tiny motors to lift heavy doors while also running sensors that check for obstacles above and next to the vehicle. The mechanical complexity crammed into each door is flat out absurd for something whose only job is to let you get in and out of your car. When an actuator fails, the door either freezes mid-swing, refuses to open at all, or refuses to latch closed. Sometimes you get the full variety pack in the same week. And here is the part that makes people's jaws drop. Each door uses multiple actuators, and replacing a single one costs around $1,000 to $1,500 at a Tesla service center. If both rear doors need actuator work, and they usually do because they wear at the same rate, you can cross $4,000 before you even get into the other problems these doors develop. I have started telling every Model X shopper who walks into my shop the same thing. Open and close every Falcon Wing door at least 10 times during your test drive. If there is any hesitation, any grinding noise, any stuttering in the motion, walk away. That repair bill is already forming. It just has not arrived yet. If you are finding this useful, do me a favor and hit subscribe. I break down stuff like this every week so you do not have to learn these lessons the expensive way. Everything I have shown you so far has been expensive and frustrating, but this last one is different. This is the only failure on this list that can actually put you in a dangerous situation while you are driving, and it is the one I think Tesla deserves the most heat for. Number 5. The 2021 through 2023 Tesla Model S and Tesla Model X with the redesigned heat pump system. This one really bothers me because it is a failure that can put people in real danger, and it does not get nearly enough attention. Tesla switched to a heat pump for cabin heating on the redesigned versions of these vehicles, and in warm climates you would never know there is a problem. Drive one in Texas or Southern California and everything feels great. But if you live anywhere that regularly drops below freezing, this system has left owners stranded in situations that go way beyond inconvenient. The heat pump relies on a part Tesla calls the super manifold. It is a valve assembly tucked inside the front end of the Model S that controls how the heating and cooling system moves refrigerant around. When this valve fails in cold weather, and it fails far more often than Tesla wants to admit, you lose cabin heat completely. I am not talking about reduced heat or lukewarm air from the vents. I mean zero heat output. Your windshield fogs up from your own breath within minutes, the cabin temperature drops to match whatever it is outside, and you are suddenly piloting a vehicle that costs more than most pickup trucks with absolutely no way to see out the front glass or keep your hands from going numb on the steering column. I worked on one where the owner was driving on the highway in Minnesota during a snowstorm when the heat pump quit completely. Her windshield fogged over within about 2 minutes. She could not see the road, could not make out the lane markings, and had to pull onto the shoulder and sit there in negative 10 degrees waiting for a tow truck. We are way past inconvenience at that point. That is a safety emergency. And the federal safety complaints for this exact type of failure are stacking up fast. The fix usually means replacing the super manifold valve assembly, and sometimes the compressor has to come out too. Out of warranty, you are looking at $3,000 to $5,000 depending on how many components need to be swapped. Tesla did push a software update that was supposed to help the heat pump handle extreme cold better, but here is the thing. You cannot write code that makes a weak valve strong. The part either handles the cold or it does not, and in a lot of these vehicles, it does not. This is why I always tell people in cold climates to think really hard before buying a used 2021 or newer Model S or Model X. A traditional vehicle with a simple heater core is not as impressive at a dinner party, but it will keep you warm at 200,000 miles without dropping a $4,000 surprise on you in the middle of February. Sometimes boring engineering is better engineering. So there it is. 5 Teslas that are falling apart before 40,000 miles. And every single one involves a failure that costs thousands of dollars to repair. These specific models and model years show real patterns of failure that you deserve to know about before you sign anything. If you are shopping for a used Tesla right now, you need to know which ones are actually worth your money before you spend a dime. I made a video called 7 used Tesla models that are better than buying brand new. There is one model on that list that almost nobody considers, but it might be the best deal in the entire Tesla lineup right now. I will see you in that one.